This week, Jibsea's heading from Scotland to a highly anticipated destination. Our sail over there, though, more aggressive than we thought it was going to be.
Some of the most visual landscapes coming straight out of the water. I lost some hair on that in a couple years of my life.
Welcome to Sailing Jibsea. 2 years ago, we knew nothing about sailing, but took off from Canada with an urge for adventure. I'm Steph. This is Travis, and this is our home, Jibsea. We moved quickly, and in a short time have made it down south and even crossed an ocean. But we still have a whole lot more of the world to see. Subscribe and join our life on the water. Have just checked out of Scotland and the UK, and we are on our way to the Faroes this morning. Bright and early departure, 8 in the morning. Well, that's considered early for us these days, so yeah. It's sunny, which is nice. I think this may have only been the second completely sunny day since we were in Scotland.
Yeah, today looks like a beautiful day.
And the sea state is very minimal. For the first 6 or 7 hours, we should probably have no sea state like it is now, and then it increases a little bit. So it might get a little bit sporty, but so far it's comfortable.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We're kind of going with a high pressure system coming from the south because there's been a ton of lows coming down which are right on your nose, and then if we wait a day, they come from the west, but they're still like 17 to 20 knots. They'd be more in front of the beam.
We like it behind the beam if we can. It's supposed to be a little bit higher winds coming from aft, but I think I prefer that versus maybe just a little bit less coming in front of the beam.
Yeah, so we're going to take a chance. We're glad we got current going with us because we're going 3.8 through the water, but 5.3 over land, which is nice. Definitely got lucky with that one because we were going to leave this time anyways, but it seems like we're going to have a current going with us a bit. We're moving along quite nicely. Wind's picked up 20 plus knots now, which has actually kind of stabilized the boat a bit. Most of the day in the sea state, we haven't had enough winds to keep the boat as stable, and it's just been super rolly and uncomfortable. But now that the winds have piped up, it's actually kind of being a bit more stable. Still rolly, but not as aggressive a feeling, I guess. Moving along, 6 to 7 knots. Steph's down below making sushi. Crazy. Crazy girl. Yum, yum, yum. Killed it. What do you got? What'd you make?
Sushi with avocado, shrimp, and cucumber, but they're not cut yet.
So you made avocado, shrimp, cucumber for you, and chicken.
Teriyaki rolls for you. With teriyaki and rice. Chicken teriyaki and rice.
Amazing.
Very challenging.
Yeah, these conditions for sure. Well, good morning. After a very long and aggressive night, I probably only slept maybe an hour. Just couldn't sleep in that, so that was wild. And like 25 to 30-ish knots, 8 to upwards of 10-foot seas, and there was a current that switched every like half an hour, and I'm pretty sure that's what just created this crazy, crappy wave pattern. So this weather window has been kind of shitty. I knew it was going to be a testing one when we left, obviously, because I seen the conditions. It's not like I could have avoided them, or it's not like I could have not avoided them. I just seen them, thought it would be okay. Just because the sea state the past 2 or 3 days was like no wind, so I thought it would have been very calm up here. With some good winds, which we would have had a fast passage. Still have a fast passage, just it's aggressive. So yeah, I can't wait to get there and sleep. Because we got another about 8 to 10 hours to go, I think. Something like that. And now the winds, instead of being behind us, are now 20 knots on a beam. So the sea state's starting to change. Sea state's starting to change again, so now we're getting this beam wave every so often that just splashes over the boat. It smacks the hull. Yay! Lost the wind, which is kind of good because we just hit a 2.5 to 3 knot current against us, which the conditions we were in, which is 20 plus knots, it was weird. It's like we got into this area and then the winds just died down, but it is a nasty area. I have to motor because 13 knots of wind is just not enough to push us through these waves, and it's aiming us like, I'm trying to go directly north, 0, but I have to aim 50 degrees east just so I can try to get to our point. And these waves are short and steep. I'm hoping we get out of it well, soon. This sucks. I'll show you what we're in. It's a world of a washing pool. Alright guys, we made it. That was a super aggressive passage. Don't know why we took it, but I figured the sea state was going to be a bit better. But anyways, we made it, and I am excited to check this place out. Like, look at that scenery behind me. It's going to be so cool. So we're just going to pull in here, little anchorage in there, and then we'll probably make our way to the main town, which is down over there tomorrow. So we just dropped the hook in on the island of Suduroy. Don't even ask me to explain any of these names. They're quite complicated. But man, look how pretty it is. Yeah, I think there's some serious winds that kind of build up in here, and then they just pipe down right in this low part and blast us.
Whoa. Yeah, that's cold. I think it's 7 degrees Celsius. This morning we are leaving Suduroy and heading, I think, 2 islands up over to the capital, Torshavn. Not 100% sure how to pronounce it, but we're going to the capital. There isn't really an anchoring zone over there, so we're going to have to pull into a marina. Hail the harbor master when we get there. We tried hailing them from here, but I don't know if our radio just didn't reach or whatnot, but we haven't gotten a response, so we're going to head over there because that's the main port of entry, do our check-in, and hopefully they'll have a slip for us to grab.
Backing up, I do not like.
Never really have to do it, so.
It's good practice though.
So the little marina that we are heading into looks like it's really tight. We'd seen some videos on it, and we figured it'd be good to try to practice backing up because we haven't really backed up and we don't have, what are they called again?
A lot of docking experience?
Yeah, bow thrusters. We don't have bow thrusters, so depending which way the wind pushes us and which way the finger's on or whatever. A little bit trickier when backing up, so he's just practicing right now in case we have to do that. But hopefully it'll be a nice, easy slip that we can just front into without any crazy swivels and turns and squeezing between things. But
figure the backing out.
Yeah.
It's difficult because you can't just turn the wheel and hopefully when you throttle up it turns. You have to almost go straight, get some speed, and then start turning. So you need to come in with proper amount of speed so you can have
more maneuverability.
Yeah.
That's kind of daunting though. Just come in with speed.
Yeah, just come with speed. It'll be much easier on you. Some people actually steer backwards.
Is that easier for you right now?
It's hard because we don't have the one throttle where you throttle up to go faster. I have my speed here and then my in gear there. I can't just pull it out of gear real quick without putting the RPMs down. At least that's not how I like to do it. If we got the wind though, that would mess with me.
We're going downwind right now, so we're just setting up the pole. Motor's off.
We motored a little longer because I want to get a shot of this mountain beside us. But we're sailing now, and this place is just such a beauty.
There's so much to see, I don't even know how we're going to get it all done because we have a whole list of places that we've seen online that we just want to make sure we hit. But there's so many, I don't even know. I think every island there's something that we want to see.
This is just some of the most visual landscapes coming straight out of the water. It's wild.
We've been saying that about every place. Like the Azores, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. But seriously, these places...
Well, just the more north we've been heading, the more rugged the landscape's becoming. And especially out here in the middle of the North Atlantic.
Yeah, all these little archipelagos.
You just get just wild features. Hopefully we can capture it enough for you guys that puts it to justice. These currents are crazy in and around these islands. We are aiming, our boat's heading is aiming 329 degrees, but our actual heading over ground is north. It's just pushing us way off course. And there's not enough wind right now to sail, so we've got a motor to get back. So we're gonna try to snug up to the island a bit, and I think we'll lose the counter current where we are, and we should be able to squeak our way up there. You got a lot of North Atlantic currents all in and around these islands, and they do play huge effects. Not only in the trying to get somewhere, but the sea state is just wild. You'll be calm, and then all of a sudden you'll be wind against current, and then it's just these standing little waves that are really aggressive.
We should have left earlier. We're still learning to leave with the currents and stuff like that. And we just realized that that probably wouldn't have even mattered because we did not, or Travis did not look at the distance correctly between where we were to where we're going. So he said it was 17 nautical miles,
It
and
lied to me.
it's actually double. So I don't know what happened there. Have you ever done that before?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, 17 nautical miles? Ah, don't worry, we'll be there in a couple hours. Even if we're against a little bit of a current, which I knew could have been a possibility. Whatever, a couple hours.
Yeah.
Well, 15 miles into it, I'm like, I don't think we're close yet.
In all fairness, when we're sailing through little islands like these in archipelagos, on the map, it always looks a lot bigger of a jaunt than what it really is. Like, it always looks bigger. The anchorage looks bigger, the route looks longer, so I kind of just went, okay, yeah, 17 nautical miles sounds about right. But now we know why the harbor master was not responding to us on the VHF, because it would have been way too far.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And it'll take us, what, like an extra...
Another 4 hours?
yeah, to get there, but that's all right. I guess we're not in a rush.
The bonus here is it doesn't get dark till like 10:30, 11, so you don't have to be mindful of the time of the day, really, because you're like, well, even if I get there at midnight, I'll still be able to see somewhat.
In terms of daylight, but the current is predominantly what we'd have to worry about.
But it's funny, because the Caribbean, we plan everything for the time of day. Here, you have to time everything with the current, because you have the time of the day, the sunlight. But yeah, it's cool, that's just differences.
Just going along the coast here, we looked to our starboard side, and there's absolutely nothing. No other boats, no land in sight. And then we looked to the port side, and it's just, bam, features in your face. There are a bunch of puffins in the water. Yeah, went out, tons of puffins, bring out the camera, no puffins. So the app that we've been using, we read about online, and it's been really good for currents. You just tap on the area and it tells you it in meters per second and the direction, and the conversion into knots would be 1.94. So we just round up to about 2, so we know that that current right there is about 2.4 knots. So since it's going to take us a little longer than we expected to get to Torshavn, I just want to take the opportunity to share a little bit about the Faroe Islands with you guys. So the Faroe Islands are a group of 18 islands that belong to the United Kingdom of Denmark. They are self-governing, they've got their own flag, they've got their own language, Faroese, and it's really cool because Faroese is only spoken by 75 to 80,000 people worldwide. 50,000 people live amongst the Faroe Islands, and 25% of them live in the capital where we're heading. They also speak Danish here. It's their secondary language. And their currency, the Faroese krona or the Danish krone. Apparently they take credit card pretty much everywhere you go, so I don't think you have to worry too much about taking out local currency when you come here, but we'll find that out soon. We are almost there. We're about 3 nautical miles out, and the winds have picked up a bit, so we're moving quite nicely. We just hailed the harbor, and they were able to hear us this time because we are really close. And they just said, yeah, if you want to come in, tie up somewhere, find somewhere on the starboard wall, on the starboard side, and tie up. So we're probably going to go in, do a loop, scope it out, head out, so that just so we know which side we're going to be tying up on, which side to set up our fenders and stuff before heading back in to tie up. Hopefully it'll be easy peasy. We just slide on in, and the winds will die before we get there. We just want the winds with us when we're approaching, and then we want them to die right down as we enter the harbor. But obviously Mother Nature's not going to listen to me. At least the fog lightened up a bit. I can actually see the buildings now. Okay. We docked.
I lost some hair on that in a couple years of my life. Because we docked over there, pulled into that slip, thinking, oh yeah, this is good. And I'm like, nah, this is custom lines sitting there. There's no cleats. Someone's slip is this one.
We spotted this slip, so I stayed on land, helped push off the boat, and then I ran over to this slip.
And I backed out, and all of a sudden I realized, oh man, if anything went wrong here, it's going to be up shit creek real quick. But thank God I got out of there, and then I went in the harbor, and I'm trying to figure out how to get into this slip, and man.
The plan is he's going to reverse and port tie. But then we saw the wind started piping up a little bit, and I was talking to the gentleman at the harbor, really nice, Sunny, and he was like, yeah, reversing would be really, like, would be a lot better, because then when you leave, it'll be great. But then the wind started piping up, and then we were talking about, yeah, maybe starboard coming in might be better. Nose in would be better, and do a starboard tie. So then we saw you out there changing the fenders, and we're like, yep, okay, he got the message, starboard tie, and then you came in, and then he was here to help, and all was good. We got tied up.
What I learned there is you should have jumped off of the radio.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that because I was like, I wanted to tell you that. But then I saw you going out, and I was like, okay, got the message. Yeah, I should have jumped out with the radio. But it's a good thing that we got here when we did, because apparently there was a festival, and had we have come a day earlier, there would have been no spots here at all. There were about 30 boats here, and they were just tied up against each other, and this place was rammed. And the winds were a lot stronger, so it was good that we came when we did, because it probably would have been a lot more stressful. So yeah, we're not marina tying people. We just
No, that's the thing about, you know,
being on
our
anchor
cruising
life.
lifestyle and just anchoring every day. It's like, you got skills on the boat, and you know how to use the boat, but tight quarter stuff, gone. Just nowhere, no confidence at all. And it's like, the ICW and all that stuff, that was good practice, but 98% of the time, it was wall tie. And like, wall tie's fine. You just come in straight, hit reverse, and you kind of squeak in. But so we're in now, and I'm just going to be terrified to get out.